Hello friends, and welcome back to my crafty space where I share my memory keeping projects and processes with all of you. If this is your first time here, hello and welcome. My name is Crystal and I am super excited that you guys are here today. Today we are working on Project Life Week 18. And I am using the Ali Edwards Digital Stories by the Month for May 2020. So, what I have here on my desk are just my pictures that I'm going to be using, and then also the printouts that I made. So a lot of these cards were in the digital kit, but I have altered them. So I have this rainbow card as my title card. I've got a quote, and then I've got a repeated journaling card. So before I actually put this thing together here on the desk, I am first going to take you over to the computer and show you how I altered everything to get it to look like this. Then we're going to come back over here and I will put this thing together. So without further ado, let's go ahead over to the computer and get started. All right, you guys, so we are starting today's process here on the computer within Photoshop Creative Cloud, and I'm just going to show you guys how I am going to get this page set up for printing. So first of all, I want to use a repeated journaling element, so I'm going to be using this card right here that says enjoying. Here's my list right now. But what I want to do is I want to change the color of this word to 3 additional colors so that I have 4 for my spread. So let me show you guys how I went about doing this. So there are a few ways that you can change the color on your card. One, you can use the magic wand and select all of the colors on your card like this, and it's just going to pick up all the pink colors. However, this card is a little bit tricky because it's got some pieces that are separate. It's like if I zoom way in, you can see that there are pieces right here that are not selected. So you can go in here and select all of those. And then when you have this ready, you can then go up to Edit and Fill. And then you can pick a different color. Right now I have black. So if I hit OK, it'll turn those sections black. So that's one way you can do this. Another way is you can use your paint bucket tool. So to get the colors I want to use for this spread, I am going to be using this little rainbow card right here. So this is a 3x4 journaling card that I'm actually going to crop in order to use it for my title card. So I want this to be 6 inches by 4 inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and crop this with the whole rainbow inside of it. So this is going to be my title card. It looks a little blurry, but if I get it to print size, it all looks good. So now I can use my eyedropper tool, and I want to pick up this red color and make this word red first. So like I said, you can use the paint bucket tool, which you just go in here and get as many of the pieces as possible. This is ultimately what I ended up doing to recolor all of my cards. I just found that it was the most, it picked up the most pieces. So right now I am just, I don't want that. There we go. I am just trying to get as many of those pink bits as possible. Now it's going to be impossible for me to get all of them. So I am not going to worry about that, because when you zoom out to print size, you can't even tell that there's pink in there really at all. Okay, so let's go back to print size. Actually, no, sorry. I'm going to go back in a little bit more. And let's magic wand the rest of this, just so you guys can see the difference here. All right, so I'm going to grab my magic wand, and I'm just going to start by getting all the big pieces that I can see while being zoomed out. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And I'm going to grab some of the smaller pieces here, like these. Darn it. Every once in a while, I select the wrong colors, and then I just have to hit the undo button. Okay, so that looks like that's probably as good as that's going to get. Let's grab all of those guys. All right. And this card's just tricky because it's got, you know, it's meant to look distressed. So it makes changing the color a little bit more complicated, but you can totally still do it. It just might take you a little bit extra time than it would otherwise. It's like this N is really distressed in here. There's a lot of pieces to pick up. Let's see if we can grab them all. I want these ones as well. Okay, we are almost there. Darn it. Darn it. Okay. Last letter, and then we will get this thing color changed. Okay, so that might be as good as it gets. Yeah, let's say that's as good as it gets. So now I'm going to go up to Edit and Fill. Now this says foreground color, which that's going to be the square that's on, you know, more towards the front. You can also pick background color if you want, and that's going to be the one in the back. I do want the one in the front. I'm going to hit OK. And now you can see that it filled in my red, but there are definitely some spots that are not filled in where I could just unselect and take my paint bucket and try to get those as well. So that was the first thing that I did for today. I recolored this card and I made them the red color, pink, a yellow, and this dark blue. I also cropped this card down to this size, and the only other thing that I did that I want to show you before we head over to the table to put all of this together is that I also added a stamp to my photo. So like here's an example of a photo that I'm printing, and I put this Loving This stamp on the bottom left corner of all of my stamps. So all of my photos, I mean. So to get that stamp on there, I pulled open one of the Loving This digital stamps. I took my eraser, erased off those numbers, and then I could just copy and paste this stamp set directly onto the photo. I did resize them just to make them a little bit smaller, but that was pretty much it. And then, you know, I just put that on all 6 of the 6x4 photos that I'm printing off for this week's spread. So let me pull up the actual spread here on the computer so you can see what it's going to look like or how I've got it situated. So this is how I am going to have this spread look. I do have some embellishing left to do, not very much, you know, and I need to put my title on here, but really the bulk of this work is done once I had the digital portion done. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff printed off, and then I will meet you guys back over at my craft table to get this thing assembled. Okay, so I'm going to get started by cutting out all of these journaling cards and cutting the 2 3x4 pictures out of the 4x6, what I want to call it, photo paper. And then we are going to get this spread set up on my desk in its entirety, because all I'm going to do is just add a few embellishments to the spread. It's going to be a super, super easy week here. So when I was designing this page on the computer, I remembered that I had these tiny word phrase stickers from the May 2020 physical kit from Ali Edwards, and they had a lot of sentiments because they're from the May kit, so it goes with this digital kit really nicely. So they had a lot of sentiments about flowers and spring and, you know, changing of the seasons and that sort of thing, which was perfect since I chose to put so many floral pictures in my project life this week. So I am going to pull over those tiny phrase stickers and add one next to the Loving This stamp set. Then I'm going to go through my stash and figure out how to add my week number and dates to my title card. I will end up pulling out some puffy alphabet stickers. They're like a multi colored puffy alpha from Feed Your Craft. And I'm going to put week, it's funny, I actually end up putting week 19 in puffy stickers, and I never even noticed until I was putting it away in my album after I photographed it and everything. So I did change it. I do have it where it says week 18 in my album, but in the video and in the pictures, I have week 19 because I just had a brain fart, I guess, and put 19 instead. And then I will add my date stamp on one of the rings too. I believe I add it on the blue one, and I put my puffy stickers on the white ring of that rainbow. Then I will put everything back out on my table again and look for one more embellishment. I just wanted one more texture or one more shape or something on this spread in order to give it a little bit more dimension and interest. I actually will end up pulling out my those like tiny little wooden star, they're like wood veneer stars from the You story kit that came out, gosh, when was that? February, I believe, of 2020 was the story kit. So that kit came with this little pack of like super tiny star wood veneers, and they were perfect. So that is what I ended up adding to these pages or these cards, and I do end up putting them right above the Loving This digital stamp for two reasons. One, I wanted it to make a sort of cluster in that corner, and two, having a like stark white little embellishment really helps to draw your eye to that Loving This stamp so that you can see it even when it's a little bit difficult to see it on the photos. So let's talk about the photos real quick. So this week I decided to do something really different, and instead of filling the pages with a lot of the same pictures as usual, like playing on the play set and being outside and playing Legos, I decided to find 6 pictures of flowers because the flowers just started to bloom here. So I wanted to find pictures of 6 different flowers or buds or something and add those as my larger photos, and then to put one photo of each of us, so my son, so Jonah and Isabella, my husband and I, and then to fill out the enjoying card for each of us. So Jonah is next to his enjoying card, Izzy is next to hers, Aaron is next to his, and I am next to mine. And I really like the way that that worked out for both telling our stories for the week and for deciding on what pictures to include in this week's spread. I love all those flowers, and I generally don't add a lot of flower pictures because we have so many life pictures. So I was super happy with that decision and super happy with this spread. So for those stars, I am just using some Tombow Mono liquid adhesive to add them onto the photos. And then that is really it, you guys. So let's slow down and close you guys out of this video. All right, you guys, that finishes up this spread for today. This was super easy. Most of the work was done on the computer, so really all I had to do was add my week and my week numbers and date stamps. And then I just wanted to make the digital stamp down in the lower left corner more of like a cluster. So I added in the tiny word sticker and one of these wood veneer stars. So it's super simple. It's not like overly embellished, but that's okay. I actually think it looks really nice in its simple nature here. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I am going to go ahead and sign off of here. I will see you guys again tomorrow for another Story Kit Crush project. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye now.